Hi students. In previous class, we have discussed about flavors of Python, and also we have discussed about important features we have discussed. So in flavors of Python, we have discussed about C Python we have discussed, then J Python, after that Iron Python, PyPy, then Ruby Python, Anaconda Python, Stackless Python, all these we have discussed. So Python language default implementation is C Python. It contains C header files, and also Python modules or Python libraries are there. So C Python is the default and most widely used implementation of the language. So when students are learning Python, it means that they are learning C Python. So it is developed by Guido van Rossum, and it is compiled and also it is interpreted. So Python program is compiled and it gives bytecode, and bytecode is interpreted with Python virtual machine, and it will give a native code or executable code it will give. So in previous sessions, we have discussed in detail about all these. And also yesterday we have discussed about flavors of features of Python we have discussed. Like first one is easy to learn and use. And next one is expressive language is there. And next one is cross-platform language we have discussed. And also we have discussed open free, open source and redistribution is there. And also we have discussed about object oriented programming, and also I've told about memory management also. Like when we are working with other programming languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, they are called as strongly typed languages. So according to the given data types, memory is allocated, and then values are stored in the memory. So those are working with the languages what I've told now. So they should know about data types, how many bytes they'll preserve, what values we can store, what is the range of the values, all these. So other language data types are called as static data types, because the memory is preserved at uh, compilation time. So data types are assigned to the variables at compilation time. That's why we'll call them as static data types. So Python language, we'll call it as a loosely typed language. So while working with core Python, advanced Python, or when we are writing code in other courses, Python related courses, so we are not going to use data types. So data types we are not going to use, and data types are assigned to the variables at runtime. So in Python, programmer will not assign data types to the data types to the variables. So program will assign data types to the variables. So when the program is executed or at runtime, data types are assigned to the variables internally. So that's why Python data types are called as dynamic data types. We'll call them as dynamic data types, because at runtime memory is allocated, memory is preserved to the variables. Okay, and here when we install Python here, so we can see two icons here. So today we'll discuss about Python installation. So when we install Python here, so here when we install Python, then here we'll get two icons here. One is interactive mode and second one batch mode is there. So this interactive mode is used to execute the statements immediately, and it will give the result. So it is used to check the features of Python, like how they are being like what is the use of the modules, what the use of the functions, like all this. And this it is used only to test the modules or functions it is used. And here ideally is there. Ideally means integrated development learning environment. So this is like a notepad editor. So here we can write programs, we can save in the file, and then we can execute. So now here, so I'm opening interactive mode here. So here you can see we'll get prompt like this. 3 greater than symbols is there. So here I can execute the statements. S equal to Hyderabad is given. So S is a variable. Hyderabad is the string or value. So we can give in a single quotes or in double quotes we can give. So here I'm not giving data type to the variable. So data type is assigned internally. So we are not going to use data types to the variables. So here I'll say print S. If I directly use S, it will show in single quotes. And if I say print S, so it is giving only the value without single quotes. And if I want to know what is the data type of S, what data type is assigned to the variable. So here I'll say type S. So in Python, type function is there. So it will give the like data type here. It is showing class str. So in Python, what all data types are there? Like fundamental data types, collection data types. All we'll see in next classes. So what all data types are there? All are created using class. Using class. That's why we are saying it is showing class str. It is giving. Okay. So in object-oriented programming, class contains variables and functions, variables and methods. Class. So variables are used to store values and the functions are used to do manipulations. So whenever you want to do operations, then we can use functions like accepting the values and displaying the values and displaying the result on the screen. Like all these we can do it. So in object oriented programming, if there is a class, if a class is there, then we can create object. Like if class is there, we can create object. So object is called as a class variable, or we can say instance of the class. Instance means copy of the class. Or else we can say object contains the memory address or memory location of the class. Or we can say that object is itself a class, and object and class both are same. Like different words, names are there. So object will always refers to class. Okay, we can say object and class both are same. Okay, so here I'm giving explanation about what is class, all this. Okay, in beginning classes, like only I'm just explaining what is a class and what is an object, all this. And now here I'll say A equal to 10, B equal to 5, C equal to A plus B is given. And here I'll say print, here I'll say C I'm giving, directly C. It is giving the result. So if I want to know what is the data type of A, B, and C, then here I can use a type function. Then it is showing as a class int because we are giving integer values. So here in interactive mode, we can say interactive console also. Console means window. So in interactive mode, here we are giving the statements and then we are executing like this. So interactive mode is not for doing projects, only just to execute the statements. We are using this. Like this, we can check the statements here. So here we are not giving assigning data types to the variables. Data types to the variables is assigned by the program or Python. So Python data types will call them as Python data types will call them as dynamic data types. So we are going to assign data types to the like program will assign. So I'm closing this. So now we are going to discuss about Python installation, then interactive mode, batch mode. This is interactive mode only, but once again we'll discuss that. batch mode, and executing programs at executing program at in writing program in notepad, executing at command prompt, like all these we are going to discuss now. So in my system, python 3.9.7 is there, like latest version is 3.10. so python 3.9.7 is there. I should uninstall that first. Okay, so here in search I'm typing add or remove programs. Add or remove programs. So here it will show Python 3.9.7 in control panel. Add remove programs will see in control panel. Here you can see Python 3.9.7. It is the 32-bit. So here I'm using Windows 10. Windows 10 Professional I'm using. It is 64-bit. Okay, Python 32-bit. We can use 64-bit also. So yesterday I've told, like if you are using Python 32-bit, 64-bit, chapters, then modules, functions, programs, all are same only. But memory usage difference will be there. Yesterday I have shown you one example. Okay, so only memory allocation difference will be there. So here I'm clicking on uninstall. So close. And here in D drive, that folder will be there, like with some files. Like all the files will be deleted, but one or two files will be there. Here, this is the Python current working directory, or it is the Python software folder. So here some files will be there here. Here you can see lib, scripts, all these are there. So I'm deleting this. So we can keep multiple versions of Python. So we can keep multiple versions, but to avoid confusion or to know like which version is working, all these. That's why I'm keeping only one version in my system, but multiple versions we can install. And here on the desktop, two icons are there here. This interactive mode and batch mode. I'm deleting both. So to download the software, here I'm typing python.org. So here I'm clicking on downloads. So when I click on downloads, here I'm not selecting 3.10. When I click on this, it will install 64-bit. 64-bit only is recommended, but here I'm using 32-bit. I'm using here. So here you can see the versions here. So 3.10 is the latest version. So here download is there. Click on this. Here you can see two options are there. A Windows installer 32-bit, 64-bit. It is saying it is recommended. And for Mac OS also you can see the versions here. So here Windows installer 32-bit I'm selecting. 64-bit installation is also same. 32-bit is also same, but only memory usage difference will be there. I am selecting this. So here it is downloading the exe file here. So exe file download is finished. So here in downloads, you can see this here. Python 3.10 is the version. It is showing as application. Application means exe file. So double click on this. Run. And here you can see install 3.10 32-bit. Okay. Here you can see install now it is giving here. So install now it is giving. So it will take some default location and it will install IDLE, PIP, documentation, shortcuts, associated files, all this. But if you want to go for custom installation, customized installation means we can do changes. We can change the path, we can change the like other options. Whichever options you want to install, we can select. So customized installation, I have selected customized installation. So documentation. So if you want help for the libraries or functions like modules what we are using, then we can install documentation file. And here you can see pip is there. Pip means Python package index will say. It is used to download and install Python packages. So in previous class, as I said, package is the collection of modules. Modules or Python files we can say. Package is the collection of modules. Modules are Python programs. And here you can see TCL, TK and IDLE is there. So TCL, TK, it is used to install tkinter. So tkinter is used to work with desktop applications or Windows applications or GUI applications. And here you can see IDLE is there here. So it will install IDLE also, Integrated Development Learning Environment. And here you can see Python test suite is there. So Python test suite means like whatever applications we are creating, if you want to generate test cases and if you want to run, then using this it is possible. And here it will install PyLauncher also. PyLauncher is also like a exe file. It is used to execute Python modules or Python packages it is going to install. Okay, so PyLauncher is also used to execute Python programs, Python modules we can execute. And for all users, it is selected here. Like in a network, any number of users can use it. So here next. And here you can see associate files with Python is selected here. Like if you want to install the related files, then we can use this associated files we can use here. And here you can see create shortcut for installed apps. Like whatever applications are installed, like IDLE and other options. So shortcuts will be created. And here you can say add Python to environment variables. So we can add Python path to environment variables in control panel. So in environment variables, we can see path, Windows path, like what all softwares we install. Like those softwares are installed in, those softwares are path is given in environment variables. Like in those when students learn Java, like in basic Python, in basic Java or else in core Java, faculties will tell about how to add path and class path. So here we can add automatically while at the time of installation, and manually also we can add. That we'll see in today's session. We are going to see that. So here this is selected, and here we are changing the location here. It is giving many folders. I'm deleting all the folders here, and I'll change the drive also. I'll give D drive, and here you can say Python 3.10 it is giving. So 3.10 means 3.10, 3.10 version, and 32-bit. For 64-bit, it will show Python 310. It will not give 64. Okay, so this folder also we can change. But to know what version we are using, then I'm keeping this folder. Even this folder we can change. So to know what is the Python current working directory, where the other files are installed, and to know the Python current working directory, I'm keeping this. So the Python 3.10 32-bit. So install. So here it is showing setup was successful. So close. So here installation is done here. After doing installation in search, I'm typing ideally. So when I type ideally, it is giving like this. Ideally Python 3.10, then 32-bit. Right click on this and open file location. So here you can see shortcuts are created in this particular location here. So here you can see many folders are there. But we want these on the desktop here. So here you can see ideally then interactive mode is there, interactive console. So right click, then send to desktop create shortcut. And here Python interactive mode, right click, send to desktop create shortcut. So every day we are going to use this. So instead of going to search and going saying open file location, doing all this, we are keeping on the desktop icons. So here you can see this interactive mode is there and ideally is there. So now here double click on interactive mode. So it is giving a small window like this. So here I'll change the properties. Click on control box. This is control box. Control box. Then properties. So here I'm increasing the font size here. Okay. So here we'll get window like this. Like before we have used this. So in interactive mode here I'm giving the values here. So print s. And here I'm giving values. We can see the data type also using type function we can see. So like this we are executing. As I said before, interactive mode is used to check the features of Python. So here the statements are executed immediately. They are giving the result. Okay. Now here if I give like this, import OS. So in Python we have many keywords. Like while doing programming we'll use keywords. Import is a keyword. So in tomorrow's class I'll tell like keywords, data types, all these. So import is the keyword, OS is the module. Module means Python program. So here os.system.cls. So in OS module system function is there. So that we are accessing here, that we are calling here. And the CLS is the argument given here. So inside the function will give, inside brackets we are going to give arguments. That argument is given here. So when I execute this, here you can see os.system.cls. So dot is called as member access operator. It is used to access the members in the class. So when I execute this, then values are cleared. Again, if I want all the statements, if I want to get them back, it is not possible. If I execute this command os.systemcls, okay, or if I click on close button, then statements are deleted. So they are not saved in any file. If they are saved in file, we can open, we can see. But once if I use a clear option, or once if I click on close button, they are deleted. And now here I'll use, ideally I'm using here. So here when I double click on ideally, we are getting like this. And here we can execute the, ideally works as 2-in-1. It works as interactive mode and also it works as batch mode. So here I can execute the statements. So here I'm using like this. So whatever I'm executing in that interactive console, interactive window, so here I'm executing same here. Okay, and here if I write import os.system cls is given. So here when I execute like this, it is not clearing the screen. So this os.system cls works in that window. Interactive console, it will works. Like in that black and white window, it will works here. So here in ideally, it will not work. So here I'll say file new. So to write a program, here I'm selecting file new is selected. So here I'm giving the statements here. So print s. So these are the statements. So consider that it is the program. So here I'm writing hi, then some statements. At the end, by is given. So here file save. And here I'll give name as file1. So default location is this one, Python 3.10.32. So that is a Python current working directory that we are giving here. And here you can say file1 is given. So file is saved. Here you can see the location. After saving the file, here we can say run module. So when I write a program like this, when I create a file like this is treated as a module. So run module. So it is giving like this, hi, then values, by it is giving. So we can save this file in any location. So here I'll say file save as. So here I'll save it in E drive. So here you can see drive is given, and here I'll give save here. So it is saying file already existing, we can overwrite, or we can use some other name also. Here you can see file1.py, E drive file1.py. So in ideally, we can save file in any location and we can run that file. We can run that program. So here you can say hi, then values, then by is given. So like this we are doing. Now we'll see how to write a program in Notepad and how to execute at command prompt. That we'll see now. And here to work with ideally, we can use the different editors and different IDEs we can use. So to work with to write Python programs, we can use editors. Like we can use a Notepad, Notepad++, Edit Plus, and Nano, Gedit. Ideally, all these we can use. And we can use IDEs also, integrated development environment. So we can use PyCharm, Eclipse, NetBeans, Atom, Sublime, Jupyter. So many other IDEs are there. So IDEs will allow us to work with multiple files, not only Python files. Like we can work with HTML files, CSS files, other files we can use. It will allow us to work with multiple files, multiple folders, multiple projects, and even different programming languages also. So Eclipse and NetBeans are used for Java. We can use it for Python also. And for DJANGO, I used to use the Sublime. I'm using Sublime for DJANGO. So now I'll write program in Notepad. So here str equal to, here I'm giving values here. So print str. Str is the variable. So here b equal to value is given, and here I'm using print b. So here I'm giving some statements here. So file save, and here I'll say file2.py. I'll save this in D drive here. So in D drive I'm saving this file. Here I'm giving extension, because when we create a file in Notepad, it will saves as a .txt. So instead of that, we are giving .py. We are giving extension is mandatory here. So it is saying file already existing, overwrite, because I have created files with the same name. So we can give different names also. So now here at command prompt, here I'm using D drive, and here in D drive I'll give the commands like this. So here I'll say file2.py. So it is giving the values. Directly we can give the file name. Otherwise we can write a Python file2.py. Python means exe file, which is in Python 3.10 32-bit folder, current working directory. And we can use PyLauncher also, file2.py. So here in two different ways, in three different ways we are executing. Directly file name with Python exe file with py, Python launcher. So it is giving the result. So this Python, all these are in they are in Python 3.10 32-bit. It is there. So we'll see that cd Python 3.10 32-bit folder name. So here you can see exe file here. Here you can see Python exe file is there. So this exe file working from any location, D drive or E drive, from any location we can access this exe file, because Python path is set in environment variables. Okay. So here I'm closing this command prompt. Now here I'll type env. In search I'm typing env. So env means it is showing edit environment variables for your account. So it is showing environment variables in control panel. Okay. So here you can see user variables is giving here. Here you can see path. In path already Python path is given at the time of installation. Edit. So here you can see this. So I'm deleting this. See, Python 39, 32, it is giving here. Okay, this also we can delete. So Python 39, 32 means the old version which have uninstalled. So when I uninstall, software is deleted, but path is given here. So I'm deleting this. So now here Python new version path is not there. Okay. So after giving this, now here I'll say command prompt, and here in D drive, because in D drive that file is created. So here I'll say Python file2.py. It is saying that it is not recognized as an internal or external command. Before it is working, python.exe file is working because the Python path is already set to environment variables. Now it is saying that this command is not there. Okay. So here again I'm closing this command prompt. So I'll open environment variables env. So when I type env, it is giving edit environment variables for your account. So now here select path, then edit. After clicking on edit, a new. And here I can type d:\/ Python 3.10. 310 means 3.10 and 32-bit. Like this I'm giving here. So like this we are giving. So now okay. So at the time of installation, if you forget to give the Python path, afterwards we can give like this. No need to uninstall Python, again install, no need to do that. We can open environment variables like this, and we can give path manually. At the time of installation, if you forget, we can do this manually like this. So here Python path is set here, then okay. Now here command prompt, D drive, here I'll say Python file2.py. So now it is working, it is giving the output. Like that we can work with environment variables in control panel. So when we are writing programs in Notepad, we have to execute those programs at a command prompt like this. At command prompt we can execute. So here students, this is about Python software installation, then interactive mode, bash mode, all these we have discussed. And now here still time is there. So we'll discuss about what are the applications we can develop using Python, that we'll discuss. And tomorrow we'll discuss about Python keywords, then data types. So we'll see the examples of all the fundamental or basic data types examples we are going to see in tomorrow's session. So now we'll discuss about what are the applications we can develop using Python. So here, this we have already discussed, but list we are going to see now. So in Python, you can develop GUI applications, graphical user interface applications. So they can be called as desktop applications, or they can be called as Windows applications. So if a GUI application is developed, or Windows application, or if this desktop application is developed, it can be used only by one user. Only one user can work with. Okay, so we cannot. It is used in standalone system, and it is used by one user. Okay, so in that case, GUI applications can be used. In advanced Python, we are going to discuss about GUI applications. Yeah, we'll see many examples. And like in small scale industries, or else in small scale, for small scale applications, GUI applications are used. Okay, like we will call them as the ERP applications. And here next one is web application development is there. So whenever you want to develop websites or web applications, then Python is used. So in Python, we can see different frameworks like DJANGO, then Flask, Bottle, Pyramid, Web2Py, Pylons, Turbo Gears, many are there. So we are going to, those who join for Python and DJANGO, we are going to discuss about DJANGO. It is used for developing websites. So when you are developing websites in DJANGO or else in other languages or technologies, when you develop a website, it works in any network. So it can be intranet or extranet, or it can be internet. So when we say about intranet, we'll call it as LAN, local area network, network within the floor in a building, or network in the entire building, we'll call it as LAN. And next one is extranet is there, we'll call it as metropolitan area network. It is used to connect two different networks in two different networks in the same location. If any company is having two offices in two different buildings in the same location, in the same area, then in that case, to connect two different networks, we can use a metropolitan area network. And next one is a wide area network is there. It is used, it is wide area network means we'll call it as internet we'll call. So it is used to connect network between countries. Okay. So here when we say desktop application or GUI application, it works in standalone system and can be used by one user. So when we say about websites, they are used in different networks, intranet or extranet or internet, and it can be used by multiple users at a time. Multiple users can access that website or application at a time. So here I'm just telling few basic things here, basics, because when those who go for interviews as freshers, like interviewer may ask what is the difference between a GUI application and web application, like desktop application and website. So student may know many answers, but at that time the student should give the proper answer. So like those who go for like as a freshers for interviews, like these questions they'll ask. Okay. And the third one is there, that is data analytics is there. So data analytics means in Python we can work with data science. And in Python, we can do automation also. Automation I didn't explain in previous classes also. In next classes, definitely I'll explain about automation. And here test cases implementation is there. So here we can generate test cases for the program or else for the application. And we can run the test and we can see how many are successfully executed, how many are in pending, how many are failed. So test cases implementation means testing procedure is simplified here. And here we can develop scientific application, and we can develop networking applications, and we can develop games or animation applications. All these we can develop using Python. In previous classes, I've given description for all these. That's why I'm not explaining in detail. So that's all, students. That's all for today. And tomorrow we are going to discuss about. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about keywords, then data types, and we'll see how the data types will execute. What is Pascal notation? What is Camel notation? All these we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, and those who have already registered, please type your mail ID in chat option so that I can send today's session and previous sessions to your mail IDs and notes also. So those who have already registered, please type your mail ID in chat option. Okay, students, I'm stopping now. Tomorrow we'll continue with the other concepts.